welcome to another edition of Fan Talk for Daniel Dubois against Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce winning via a 10th round stoppage with a jab to the eye of Daniel Dubois, who took the knee and was counted out. Now, our predictions going into this, we both predicted mid-round stoppages for Dubois. I have to admit, I was kind of flaking on my prediction, but I do have to stand with it. I did pick Dubois. But what did you think, man? I mean, what a fight.
Yeah, tremendous fight, man. Tremendous fight. And you know what? Credit goes to both fighters for taking the fight and for bearing their souls tonight. Fair play to Joe Joyce, man. I predicted, I'm not going to, backtrack now. I predicted that Daniel Dubois would win. I said that before the fight that Joe was a bit too hittable and that he'd get busted and beaten down and ultimately stopped. But he proved me wrong, man. Even when he came under fire, he rode the shots well. He was hurt, but his legs never gave way at any stage. He never looked in any serious trouble. And by the halfway stage, I was already texting people saying, man, Joe Joyce has got this. You know what I mean? I could see it. Daniel Dubois, a couple of things showed through tonight, man. His inexperience. When plan A didn't work, you could visibly see him in the corner as well. He looked like he was panicking a little bit in there. Things like asking the coach, what round is it, stuff. A couple of times I saw him looking up at the clock and looking out the ring. That's always telltale signs. And what that fight showed for me tonight, man, is that old adage, the jab being the most important punch in boxing. And Joe's jab was beautiful tonight, man. You know what I mean? The timing of it and the accuracy of it. And that's what won him the fight ultimately.
It's a beautiful jab, man. From the first round onwards, Joyce took the center of the ring. Yeah. He landed a solid jab. He was dictating the pace. Dubois definitely won his fair share of rounds. Let's give him that. He definitely did. It was close going into the 10th. But I just felt the longer it went, after the 6th round, I was saying to myself, I don't know how much longer he's going to hold up with that eye. Yeah. It was already swollen shut. And that jab was not missing. I thought there was a lack of head movement from Dubois there. Yeah. And I mean, Joe Joyce, it was a great performance. He's got a solid chin. Solid chin, Joe Joyce. But I'm seeing a lot of criticism now for Daniel Dubois, particularly from David Hay, Carl Frampton, and on Twitter. The way how Daniel Dubois kind of took the knee there, you know what people are going to say? They're going to say he quit. What are your thoughts on that?
No, you know what? I'm not going to criticize him on that front, and I'll tell you why. Number one, it's an eye injury, man. That's a very serious injury. I mean, you don't know what happened. Maybe his eye socket could be broken. Maybe that he could have suffered a detached retina. You only get one pair of eyes, man. Once that's damaged for good, you know what I mean? Your career's as good as done anyway. So you might have. I think what happened was him being 21, not been in that type of position before. He felt that shot. He felt his eye go. And I think a little bit of panic must have set in immediately. He must have thought, wow, my eye's gone, you know what I mean? And he could have got up. He obviously sat it out. So he did quit, if you look at it like that. But I'm not going to throw too much shade on him for that, man. Listen, 21st of May, 1989, Nigel Benn versus Michael Watson at Finsbury Park. I was at that fight. I was there, the outside in Finsbury Park, man. It's very similar to what happened today. Nigel Benn went into that fight like Dubois, the big power puncher, knocking everyone out. Michael Watson was considered to be the underdog. He schooled Nigel Benn on the night. And just like tonight, he knocked out Nigel Benn with a jab. Caught him flush in the face, bang. Nigel went down, didn't get up. Same types of things we're hearing now about Dubois. We heard about Ben then, that he quit. And, has he got the heart for it? Will he ever come back? Look at the career that Nigel Benn went on to have. Yeah. So I'm not writing Dubois off at all, man. You know what I mean?
Well, let's talk about Joe, man, because like I said, I picked against him. I was flaking, but I'm gonna hold my L. I picked Dubois, but going into the fight, I was thinking, boy, I was leaning towards Joyce, but I didn't want to commit to it. But he's won the fight.
I don't think you should say it to L, because you're like me and like many, many others. Listen, I speak to a lot of people in boxing, and I don't think I spoke to one person that was outright going for Joe Joyce. A lot of people were either going for Dubois, or they were kind of hedging their bets and saying, well, Dubois, is going to win, but if Joe gets past the first 6, 7, 8 rounds, then he's got a chance. Very few people were actually picking him out right. Although you did say on the show that we did during the week that a lot of last-minute money had started coming in on Joe Joyce. And I said to you that maybe the people who train with him or seen him in the gym are seeing things that gives them a lot of confidence. Your Sam Jones in this world, for example, he must be cock-a-hoop.
Can't wait to see his interview, man. But where does Joe Joyce go from here before we go? Like, we'll quickly wrap up. Where would you like to see? He's got to move on to world level now.
They've got
25 years old.
They've got to fast track him. Like I heard tonight, Frank Warren floating the possibility of a rematch. I don't think that suits Dubois.
Doesn't suit Dubois right now.
I think Joe, he might take the rematch because he might think that there's a lot of money to be earned, and he's going to think if I've done it once, I can do it again. But if I was Sam Jones and the people closest to him, I'll be saying, listen, man, let's try and get a title shot of some sort. You know what I mean? Because you could see tonight that he would give any heavyweight in the world problems, man. With that gas tank, with that chin, with that mental toughness that he's got, he's going to be a hard night for anyone. I'm not saying he'll beat the likes of Joshua or Fury now, but I think he's 35 years old now. He's got over that Dubois hurdle. Why put yourself through that again? To me, try and get a title shot or a final eliminator for a world title. It's got to be the next step for him. Because like I said, he's 35 now. As good as he's been and as fit as he is and strong as he is, you like to think that he's not going to have too many more years left at the top.
Yeah.
And this is going to fight someone like Dillian in a final eliminator, the winner out of Dillian and Povetkin. And I must admit, I'd fancy Joe Joyce against either one of those two right now. He'd just break them down. He'd break both of those two. 41-year-old Povetkin, who can be stopped. And then you've got Dillian, who we know can be stopped as well. I'd fancy Joe Joyce against either of those two. What do you think?
You know what? So I think even money with Dillian, I think he could. I think he could get the better of him. He's got more experience than Dillian, much more experience. And I'd be finding it hard to pick against Joyce.
Yeah, outside of the top 2 or 3, I mean, Usyk beat him in the amateurs. So, Usyk might start favourite against him. But then Usyk doesn't have a belt right now. I think if you're Joe Joyce, you've got to start calling out the champions and see if you can get a fight with them. If you can't get a fight with them, then maybe a final eliminator with Usyk, Dillian or Povetkin or whoever it might be. Go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might fancy a rematch with Tony Yoka.
Yeah.
That's a very winnable fight because I thought he won the Olympic gold medal match that night anyway.
Many people did, yeah. But listen, I'm gonna have to wrap this up, man, because I've got other people waiting. But great performance from Joe Joyce, man. And interested to see what happens next with Dubois.
Great night of boxing, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Well done to Joe Joyce. Unlucky to Daniel Dubois. I've got no doubts he'll come again.